All right, Eric, I believe we are live. I'm going to do an audio check there. Are you there? You with me, man?
I am here.
All right, that's great. We're with @superposition. Just doing the audio check real quick, make sure everything's going great. See what's going on.
Cowboy Bebop. Bebop.
Good stuff. All right, well, anyways, we are here today to talk about the 0xProject. We started playing around with the like very basic starter kit yesterday, and I learned about a couple things that I was very curious about. I'm gonna check the audio real quick. Good, yeah, there it is. But yeah, Eric hopped on here. Let me turn on this music a little bit. All right. So really, 0x like has been being discussed quite a bit in a lot of different capacities. Eric, are you familiar with how they got listed on Coinbase and everything like that? You're familiar?
I'm only familiar because I looked at it yesterday, but I'm not going to be like, oh, I know everything about it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it's a pretty interesting project. I went through their docs a little bit today, and yesterday I was playing around with it, like I mentioned, and we were trying to spin up just this basic starter project. And some of the interesting things about it were, obviously the scenarios that they have programmed in here, and I wasn't understanding what they were doing, but we're going to kind of dive into that and see what kind of scenarios you can run. And we're just going to start over and respin it up, and we figured we'd do just a little bit of a separate segment here to discuss this because it's pretty interesting stuff and it's got some pretty big implications. So just kind of the first two questions that I was very curious about was like, what is 0x, and I guess like what problem does it aim to solve? And sure enough, right on their website, first two questions in their FAQ are right here.
Yep.
At its core, 0x.
What are they, Adam?
At its core, 0x is an open and non-rent seeking protocol that facilitates trustless, low-friction exchange of Ethereum-based assets. Developers can use 0x as a platform to build exchange applications on top of 0xJS. Well, on top of. I don't know why they ended it on a proposition, but nevertheless. For end users, 0x will be the infrastructure of a wide variety of user-facing applications, i.e. the 0x portal, which is actually right here. We can check that out today. There it is. Refresh this.
Ooh, what's this?
Yeah, pretty cool stuff. Pretty cool. Oh, I gotta unlock my MetaMask. Move it over here.
Yeah, just unlock your MetaMask and your private keys for everyone to see.
Yeah.
Unlock.
33. Good luck. Anyways, yeah, so that's the 0x portal, which is basically an interface, I believe, with a lot of different exchanges here. And one of my favorites, ERC DEX, that's run by Luke Autry and a couple other people. They're pretty cool app. Just a little shout out to them. And while we're on the topic, actually, shout out to Bitcoin Energy yet again. Shield, Craig, keeping it real. Thanks, guys. Yeah, so ERC DEX actually directly uses, I think, WETH and the 0x project. So I want to be talking about them in the future, and I think 0x protocol is a good place to start to continue on. So,
Yeah.
i.e. the 0x portal, when just picking up where we left off back then, a decentralized application that facilitates the trustless trading of Ethereum-based tokens between known counterparties. So really, really, I guess it's just like the mechanism that would support exchanges. You might be familiar with like fill orders, buy orders. This is like a platform, well, maybe not platform agnostic exchange, but essentially allows you to. They're acting kind of like a market maker in a lot of ways, right? You have the ability to put orders in and trade, and it would use cross-platform, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then what problem does it solve? That's going to answer in kind of like what I'm describing now, probably poorly, but in the next 2 years since Ethereum in the next few years since Ethereum is a blockchain genesis block. Interesting. That okay. Numerous decentralized application dApps have created Ethereum smart contracts for peer-to-peer exchange. Rapid iteration and a lack of best practices have left the blockchain scattered with proprietary and application-specific implementations. As a result, end users are exposed to numerous smart contracts of varying quality, which we talk about on the stream often, and security, with unique configuration processes and learning curves, all of which implement the same functionality. This approach imposes an unnecessary cost on the network by fragmenting users according to the particular dApp each user happens to be using. Eliminating valuable network effects around liquidity, 0x is the solution to this problem by acting as a modular, unopinionated building blocks that may be assembled and reconfigured. Okay, so they're just trying to do like an out-of-the-box kit here that's just implementing best practice. So that's pretty cool. The security vulnerabilities in smart contracts, like we've talked about, whether that's overflow or underflow, or reentrancy attacks, and there's quite a few more that we definitely hope to tap on. But it looks like 0x protocol is trying to, I guess, create like a boilerplate system that also allows you to interface with the Ethereum network in a little bit more seamless way. And I mean, I'm not very familiar with 0x, so I could be misreading that, but that's why we dive into it and try to figure it out, right? So continuing on here, there's a couple things. Let me just pull up the Discord, make sure, check the chat. Live from the center of the earth, Red Room Gorilla. Yeah, yeah, dude. Basically. Let's see what else we got. Who we got in the chat room? Say hi. Say what's up if anybody's in here. I'm looking on. We got. Let me check really quickly one more thing. I'm gonna check the Periscope here. Cool. All right. Well, I'm going to be monitoring the chat if you guys have any questions, but really the basic objectives of this specific live stream is just to get this thing up and running like we did yesterday, and then run the simulations on it. And then maybe discuss kind of what this would look like as like an implication of the Ethereum blockchain and trying to standardize some of this trading and interoperability between smart contracts or whatever the case may be. Okay, cool. You just added Django. Is that an upcoming stream there?
Yeah, I was gonna do a Dockerized Postgres Junicorn Docker file Django because and Docker's cool. I've been like pushing Docker as like as part of my thought process for a while because at the same time that I like want to have everything encapsulated in my development environment. I want to be able to deploy it, and there's a lot of synergy behind Docker, so I want to really keep it in my frontal loop.
Docker's great stuff. I really want to see if they'll work together with us on maybe one of our hackathons, because we use them a lot. In crypto, a lot of the projects are deploying there. It's just a really good tool. But yeah,
it's just like, hey, I want to run software.
Yeah.
Do you want to run my software?
Yeah.
It's like a very simple thing. It's like, hey, we don't just develop inside of like a very enclosed area, and there's a little, like a slight dependency hell you can find yourself in if you don't have your P's and Q's lined up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, okay, just checking the retweets.
Oh, you know what I was going to do? I was thinking, since I'm having screen sharing problems, do you want to do a VS Code share? Because then I can access your terminal and work in parallel with you.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, we can do that.
That's like what I was thinking, just like the break in the middle. If you're developing under VS Code, then I
send me the link
in parallel.
Send me the link.
No, you send me the link.
Oh, okay.
That's how it works.
All right, let me just.
Or do you not? Yeah, let me see. Do you want me to share the link?
Yeah,
or
just set it up and I'll click it. Then we'll be good to go.
Okay. Yeah, but I'll set it up and set up like a Linux environment.
Cool.
Yay!
I'm just gonna actually run Ubuntu as an administrator real quick. Sorry, my screen dropped down, guys. And I'm gonna.
Like, something I was noticing while you were installing stuff, it like had like a detriment to this. If I was hosting it, then you can use my computer to install whatever we're doing.
Sure.
And it won't like deficit your computer.
Oh, it's actually a great idea for sure. Yeah, we gotta get a straight desktop. Well, but anyway, everybody on Periscope, I can see chatting here. Let's see what we've got on Twitch. Nobody's chimed in yet, but I'm monitoring all these. So if you do have any questions, we're gonna just kind of dive right into it. And the first thing that we're gonna do is go to maybe check out some of these sites really quick. So it's really easy to find. 0x, of all of the crypto sites that I've ever seen, it's pretty nice because it's very simple. So build on OX is right here, and 0x just pops up. You're in the docs. It's going to walk you through what you want to do. It's very well documented, which is cool. This is the starter project GitHub. I'm going to pop that in here, but the document which was attached to the stream should have that in there. It should be that bit.ly link. Let me pop that in everywhere in case anybody wants to pull that up too. There you go. Pop that in here. Okay. And unavailable.
So what are we doing? We're doing like a JavaScript project.
Yeah, just real quick. We're just gonna basically spin it up.
Let me make a new folder. Blah blah blah. Let's see. Call this.
What's up?
I want to set up a drive, like a directory. 0x.
If you're just gonna do this, you would hit git clone, type it in, hit enter, and it
Wait,
should.
1 second. Let me open it up. I'll share it with you.
Clone the
Let's do
project
one.
right in there.
4 block. 0x. Okay. So I got VS Code. I'm gonna paste the link in. Homie in the. All right.
Good to go. Pop it in.
I'm gonna give you a. Visual Studio Live Share.
Hey,
You're
what's up?
signed in, ready to use.
Dax from the 0xProject in here. That's good, man. DEKZZ. What's up, man? How you doing? Welcome. We're just gonna spin up the starter project here. We did it yesterday, but we were having a little bit of an issue because I didn't realize that you guys had simulations already pre-programmed. So it's good to see that you guys are hopping on. We figured we'd just put it up as a resource on how to kind of play with it because we wanted to play with it anyway. So it's pretty cool. One of our favorite projects actually use it. Well, one of my favorite projects actually use it, which is ERC DAX. Okay, Eric, you ready to go? Or should I just go? Because I can do it.
Here we go. It's coming to you in 3, 2, 1.
All right, you popped it in?
It's in our private DM.
Okay, I'm opening that up right now.
Let's see if it works.
All right, cool.
Who's Tom Schmidt? Hey, Tom Schmidt. He's in general.
Oh, cool. Welcome, man. Thanks for joining up. Don't forget to give us a follow, too, everybody. We do a lot of different live hacks on a lot of different things, so it's pretty cool. I think I'm in your... Let me just see. I think I'm in your Visual Studio. Can you see me? Eric?
I'm not sure if we get to see each other unless we're working on a... Hey, Tom Schmidt, what's up? You're watching.
Yeah.
Let's make a new folder, new file. Yeah, I think you should be able to use my screen and my terminal.
Launch sign in. Okay, here we go. I should be signed in. Sign in with GitHub. Bam. Should be in there. We in?
There you are.
Cool.
Well, I don't think you're in there yet. VS Code. Ready to collaborate.
Are you in there? Oh, I got you.
Hey, you're in.
All right, cool. All right, here we go. We're in the live code. Eric, you want me to pop in your... I can...
You can do whatever you want now, yeah.
Commandeer your chat? Okay, cool.
Let me see. Terminal read only? No, we want to make read write. Okay, cool.
Okay, so first thing we're going to do, like I just did, is actually just git clone the starter project, which is very straightforward. So I shared the link, like I said, in that doc. I should have passed that around there. Comment. Let me just check the comments if anybody else is following along. Okay, cool.
This means you have a fully Linux environment.
Okay, here we go. So git clone. Oops, didn't hit git clone. Git clone.
Being able to share your terminal is like pretty crucial.
Sorry. Git clone. There we go. Let's paste that in there. So that's the starter project.
Yo, it's so cool. I can see it on my screen.
It's pretty great. Let's go over to here. Let's do yarn install. You got yarn set up? Wow.
No, I did. I installed it yesterday.
Okay, so let's just do. We should probably change into that directory then. Let's go cd 0x, and now we're into Eric's yarn install. It's installing.
Nice. And now you'll be using my computer instead of yours for installing stuff.
Great. I'm all about that. That memory limit gets brutal.
Yeah, no doubt.
Yeah. If anybody has any questions.
I also have like a lot of libraries installed, so it's like a lot of less work.
Very cool. Here we go. Okay, so in the meantime, I see Simon's with us. I see, yeah, Dax, man. Thanks for everybody for the OX team for hopping out, man. It's pretty cool to see other people from the project actually on our stream. We just like developing. If you're new to the channel, definitely subscribe, hit the follow button, hit the notification bell, because we do just kind of hack on random code all the time.
Smash that subscribe button.
Yeah. And then also show Bitcoin Energy some love, because I'm a big fan of them.
Oh yeah. Buy a case.
Yeah, it's pretty good
Buy
stuff.
10 cases, like me.
Yeah. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
Let's check out this.
I literally haven't been drinking it with any ice or cold. I've just been drinking it hot.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna send this. This is the 0x. Apparently, they moved over to Rocket Chat, so let me pop that in here. Let me see.
Rocket Chat's nice if you just want to have like a quick Java-based, window-based chat. Any bait.
Yeah, let me pop this around in case anybody wants to talk to the team members of that project, because I know sometimes it's hard to find where everybody's at. So let me pop that in and pop that in. Show them some love. All right, cool. So reinstalled now. Almost.
Nope.
All right. Going back here, we can check out some other questions while we're on it. How does the ZRX token work? It's utilized in two ways. Solve the coordination problem. Drive network effects around liquidity, creating a feedback loop where early adopters of the protocol benefit from wider adoption. Pretty sound. To be used for decentralized governance over the 0x problem. Yeah, so makers and takers. So they're like, in a lot of ways, acting like almost like kind of in an arbitrage capacity, like clearing out the markets that we use. They're like resource.
I don't know if I'd use that word though. Arbitrage is, I think, has another definition.
It does, but I'm lacking of the word that I need to say right now. I'm trying to relate it to myself. Total supply.
I feel like when you do arbitrage, you're like selling high and low on different exchanges.
You're equaling
to
out.
Make a profit.
Yeah, you're basically equaling out the differences between exchanges by performing an arbitrage function. And 0x is actually the kind of, in a way, like the actual, like the market maker, I guess, to a degree.
I think that it's the literal protocol, so it's not like they have to go to an exterior source. It's like they are the source.
Sure. Anyways, let's go here. Done yet?
We're installing the different cryptographic functions.
Yeah, so this is pretty cool. Basically, once you install this is pretty easy to kick up. Really, let's look at their README. What we're going to be doing here is downloading a snapshot and then obviously running the Ganache command line interface. And then this is the component that we're going to run here. We're going to fill an order just to see. So we have to open up two separate terminals to check out how it's going to interact between one and the other, because you're going to basically be operating on testnet. And then, actually, is it local?
Are you going to be on testnet, or are you going to be on Ganache?
It's going to be on Ganache. I don't
Okay, so it's like your local.
We might try and run Kovan. Just depends. And how confident.
I'm down with going with Kovan. Let's do it.
Yeah. Okay. We can do that.
Yeah, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah. Okay. Here we go. So step 2.
So you can run screen if you need to like pop over to like multiple terminals.
I should probably just be like actually doing it like this. Hold on. Let me do this. Probably go move it over to a different desktop. Can you still see me on the live stream?
Yeah, now it's good. You're good. Yeah, it works.
Okay, cool. So
yeah, just full screen that.
Yeah. So let's just hop back over. Bam. Yarn build. Word.
Just hit enter a couple times. Sometimes it messes up. There you go.
You guys probably can't see that. Let me move it up here. So just hitting your yarn build, that's going to start spinning up. Actually, I don't like this setup. I'm going to go back to the other way I had it. Back over here. Spin it up. So build. Now we have to do these two commands. So let's do the download snapshot. It's going to take a minute. Good. And then yarn Ganache CLI. Yarn Ganache. Oops, spelled it wrong. Ganache dash CLI. Okay, cool. Okay, so now we're running. We need a second terminal, I think, now.
Yeah, you should just close this one out, and then we'll do screen.
I can't. Oh, you want me to just do it again?
Here, I'll show you.
Here, pop in the. You gotta run yarn Ganache CLI first. You can't just do Ganache.
I can't? Why not?
I don't know. It didn't work yesterday. Just don't break it. Ganache.
Why can't I?
Because I said so.
Ganache CLI? What the frick? It should be installed globally. All right.
There you go. Cool. And then, did you do screen? So can we do?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. And then
You're ready.
All right.
You already.
Okay. So now we're gonna do yarn scenario. Actually, we have to split this terminal so we can see both. Not enough space. So you
say again.
There you go. Okay. What did I do?
I don't know. I think like when you make a like screen's not the same as like your native terminal.
Oh,
So
really?
if you were going to do that, then you would do like a it's kind of like a lot.
Oh yeah.
Are you back to lab?
Okay. Yeah.
Yes.
But I want to be able to.
The blue and red, the blue and yellow.
Hold on. I'm gonna close the terminals real quick. Can you unsplit that? I forget how to do it.
That's not you. That's not me. That's you. See, that's your own terminal. You just hit exit. Type exit.
Oh yeah, that's right. Cool. All right, and then we just do basically the command. So going back to the actual docs here, like I said, let's do this fill order. It should work. If not, we have to basically do the snapshot again because there may be some issues. Thanks to here. Not the best. Yarn scenario. Fill. Let's just do all. Okay. So
Copy alt effects.
yeah, it's just gonna run a bunch of different scenarios now. So basically, the 0xProject in the starter kit gave you a bunch of different things. They have like, the actual fill order function. See, this is what it's doing right now. It's transferring around basically.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
What the heck is this going on here?
Yeah, it's pretty cool stuff.
It's executing a bunch of orders. I don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, it's running a bunch of simulations. So we can actually scroll back up and see what's going on here too.
I don't think you can. I think you would have to pipe the less or something. Here, let me try something real quick.
You can't scroll up.
You can't. No, it shouldn't be able to. You should only be able to scroll if you have. What was the command you used? You used yarn build.
For this one, I used yarn.
Fill
scenario : all.
yarn.
Dude, this looks so jank on this shared terminal. I might just have to.
What?
I might just have to actually switch it back over. Let me just see what I got. I actually have this already set up. Martha Stewart. Let's see what we got. Oh no, I don't. Go back over. What are you doing?
I'm going to pipe the last command. into less so we can scroll.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, dude, it's just yarn scenario. And then
Scenario.
colon all.
Cool. Oh wait, stop. I'll pipe this into less.
So what does pipe less do, Eric? Just because.
There's two low-level commands called less and more. Just like tail, what it does is that it will take the standard output from this program, so all that text that we just saw fly by, and it'll allow us to, one, scroll through it, search through it, regex through it, whatever you want to do to it through it, and see how I'm just moving it up and down.
Sure.
You wouldn't be able to do that before.
Okay, so let's actually zoom in
So
here.
if I want to say salt, let's see, salt, then I can hit like N and I can go through the salt of every function. Or if I wanted to do maker, what is this? Taker feed.
I want to make sure I'm not in the way here.
Yeah, you can like close the side panel and probably make it a lot easier for you to read.
I'm gonna drop myself down here, and I'm also gonna minimize the terminal just a little bit. What I got.
So if we were trying to look through all the maker and taker fees, then we can. Or every time that.
Well, let's just see what happened. Let's just go back through and see what happened when it ran all the scenarios, and let's just see what the commands are. So go back up to the top where we called it, and like let's just see what's going on.
Home. Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah.
So
filter.
Yeah, and can you switch over to the other terminal so we can see the back end, the other side of this? So on the actual local hosted chain. That okay, cool.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, this one's not going to be able to scroll, but we can see that a lot of different Ethereum calls are being set up.
Okay. Yeah, so getting price. So these are the different calls. ETH, get transaction receipt. This is all going to query, or it's all going to be, these are GET requests, right? Because it's the other one's a post.
These are not API REST commands. What's really cool about the future is that when we have a blockchain that's fully downloaded to your computer, there is no more APIs. Literally everything is there on your hard. So in this case, all these transactions are present on our computer. So there's no get post necessary. It's more like look at the transaction. It's really nice. So it kind of like abstracts away from like having all of your information exteriorized to being present.
Cool. Can you change over? I actually spun it up on mine just because I think it's unavoidable to a certain extent, because it's just a little bit rough. But yeah, so fill order hash, gas used. So these are all just individual transactions, and we should actually try and find in the documentation exactly what's going on too. So let me just try and see if we can find the scenarios that it's going to call. Let's go back.
Sure.
Where's that? Start a project. Cool. So yarn scenario fill order. Where would I find the commands in the scripts? Let's see that. Package.json maybe? Yeah, okay. So here's the commands, Eric. Right here. Let me zoom in on these.
Let me bring up your let me see what you're doing.
These are scenarios that essentially are just gonna.
Oh, is this inside of your actual scripts?
Yeah. So scenario all is gonna call all JS, which is if you go to package.json, the scripts that come loaded in.
Oh, this is directly from package.json. That's pretty neat.
Yeah, so they're automating these scenarios, and as you can see here, these are the different TypeScript files that are running. So execute a transaction right here. This is an example of what that looks like. So it's going to import these. Eric, what's the best? These are not decorated. What do you?
Oh, those are I believe stored inside of 0x.js, so you can see 0x.js.
They're objects.
And these are the libraries. They're libraries.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're gonna create those objects afterwards.
Great.
So if you look down, Let's see.
Welcome everybody on Twitch to Deck ZZ. Doesn't look good on a spinner. What do you mean by spinner, by the way? Just like on the VS Code, because I'm actually spinning this up over here too, so we got it. Let me see. Oh, I had it in Commander yesterday. That's where I had it. I remember now. I got this. I got this already built. So let's just do cross. Two Commander instances going. One there. There. Okay. Now that's. I think I have the 0x starter project in here. Oh, maybe it's on my desktop. Eric, you still with me? Or piped less doesn't exactly check the TTY, so there's a spinner to indicate pending in a non-TTY environment. Less, it doesn't render so great. Oh yeah, for sure. I'm not familiar with less that much. I know Eric uses quite a bit. Eric, are you still online with me, or did I lose you?
I'm still here.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, I'm sure less kind of like breaks up over remote.
Okay, well, git clone. We'll just do it again. Git clone.
You're gonna install it from the beginning?
Yeah, I can't. It just doesn't look good. I want to do it out of a terminal so people can see what's going on. Here we go. We're just gonna do that real quick one more time. So much trash on my browser right now. Like as far as like so much clutter. Okay, so let's just go to CD desktop. Why is that working? Git clone. Project in there. Done. CD 0x. Yarn install. Take a minute. The stream gets some chop, guys. I'm sorry about that. Get this other stuff ready. If anybody knows any other project, like, so actually this portal actually probably cool to talk about. I don't know any of these, so I don't know what Sharp Relay is. I don't know what Radar is. I think I've heard of Token Jar. But let's see. Oh, I opened the image file. Token Jar. Oh, it's just decentralized exchange as well. Cool. So the other interesting component about actually 0x is its use of WETH, I believe. So WETH it essentially like wraps
Hey
your
Adam.
what?
Hey Adam.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have to physically change my location, so I'll be right back on.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so this whole concept of wrapping the token just allows you to essentially operate on different platforms using smart contracts, right? So it essentially wraps in something, allows you to cross-platform trade, and then continues on. Looks like Eric just killed us. Okay, that was kind of a useless, frivolous effort. Anyways, the Visual Studio Code's not always 100%. Let me get Commander up. See if we're done. Still spinning it up. If anybody actually has a little bit better explanation of WE, that'd be great too. I'm not super familiar with it, but I get the concept. ERC 223 and it works. Cool. All right. So anyways, just kind of talking back to what's going on here. In this is essentially like a scenario that's run using TypeScript here for the actual like execution of what we saw with what Eric was doing. So this is simulating using Ganache and, you know, like obviously that local, I guess, like instance of the blockchain. It is just going to be able to like simulate. So we actually generate these fake accounts using Ganache, right? And the transactions occur, and that's what we're going to show you in a minute here. Once Commander finishes, or my computer finishes installing. Okay, cool. It's just going to show you basically the orders going through the two different blockchains. So hold on. Yarn build. Cool. We just need to download a snapshot. Download snapshot. Yarn. Ganache. CLI. Okay. So now that that's running here, we can actually run an individual scenario like I showed you on the other one. Go. Yeah, I should have never used VS Code for the first time. Should use the Linux subsystem, which is horrible, or actually booted straight into Ubuntu to start with. There you go, fill order. So now you're gonna actually be able to see both sides of it. So the one on this end over here, right above me, it is running the actual scenario, and then on the right, you're gonna see it respond. So we can check out the code and see exactly what this does, but it should fill an order that was open on the testnet, right? And this is essentially what happens. So let's look through here. Okay, so when we spun up Ganache here, you're going to see all these fake accounts, right? So they all say they have 100 ETH in here. And they're the private keys for these accounts. It's just like a blockchain, right? Gas price, gas limit. These are measured in GUI. I don't know if they have a separate unit for what's going on the other end. Like with this particular protocol, I'm still not privy to exactly what's going on, but the basics are pretty much there. This is the smallest unit by which you would measure. And essentially what happens here is the transaction takes place. So it fills an order, and you'll see the maker account right here, which would be the first one, I believe. Let's double check. OXD. Is that the hash? Oh, that's approval. Okay. XCA. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, yeah, 0 count right here. The one at index 0 is the maker count. You can see the hashes are, or the addresses are exactly the same here. And then the taker count, which is going to be the purchaser, is the index 1. And essentially what goes on here is the transaction takes place, right? No fee, but the taker moves ZRX into the other's account. And then, or I'm sorry, creates the order, it looks like. And then from this one, let's see what goes on. Taker address 05, yep. Taker address 06. This is the actual transfer. And then it's executed. Now, I do want to simulate get all, and then this is obviously the back end here. This is what's going on from, the perspective of the chain. It's getting a request, get block by number, estimated gas, get transaction count. This is interacting. This is transaction ID, which you're going to see. Oops, I'm going to do that. Transaction ID, but it should be over here. That's that number that we were looking at earlier. Match them up. Yeah, this one right here. This is the approval. It's the transaction. And that's generated by obviously the two components signing. It creates a unique hash. And then down at the bottom here is another transaction. When it's executed, I believe. Block number 24. Check here. Where are we at? Didn't query the block, I don't think. But you can see obviously that this request over here is interacting with Ganache, and Ganache is actually responding in kind. So the next step here would be to actually just run all the commands, and I can actually show you what we're going to run when we hit all, and that is basically in their documentation right here. So let's go to scenarios. This is run, and if you break it down, you can actually see in the code exactly what's going on here. So let's go to the starter project real quick, and let's just check out the package.json file. So you can see, like, when we're putting in these requests here, this is pretty standard for basically all node. You have different commands, right? So copy artifacts, that's not a command really. Artifact JSON ourselves, it's just going to split out exactly that string right there if you ran that. But right in here where you hit scenario all, it's going to call the all.js script. And then this is what I was talking about earlier, the fill order, it's going to call the fill order. So when we did that fill order ERC20, it essentially did this call and build the script fill underscore order underscore ERC20JS. And then this, I'm assuming if we run all, I haven't looked at the code yet, I'm going to double check, but it should run every one of these scenarios that 0x put into the build. So go here, let's check this out, copy it. It's a little dry, maybe we should put some music on. Let's say keygen. A little bit better. If it's too loud, let me know. Back to the script, we're going to look at the all.js. And then scenarios in their GitHub, and we can check it out right here. So all that TypeScript, it's going to import the scenario async, and then the match orders, buy ERC20 tokens, fill orders, all those are what we were outlining in essentially that scenario doc that we were just showing. So let's run that on both sides and we can see what's going on. We're running that through Yarn. And you're going to see the right side over here just blow up with a bunch of different calls. So it's filling an order first, filling an order with fees, fill order CERC. You can see these popping up, match orders, execution transaction. You can see them popping going through here. But this, all of this just interacted with our Ganache blockchain, which is right here. And you can see it doing all of these calls, and we can actually break it down even more granular. So this is that order hash right there. Six in here. See if we can find it. I don't know that that's going to show up on that end. Market buy, 0x56. Hold on. I think I just saw that one. Well, there's a lot of stuff that just happened. Regardless, these hashes are going to match up. Like these actual addresses or unique hashes are going to add up what's going on in here. That's just, these two are communicating. That's all that proves. As far as the actual capabilities of this stuff, I know, Luke Autry over at ERC Dex was talking a little bit about how they decided to, kind of integrate, and I was very curious about it. I'm not by any means an expert on this particular 0x discussion, but very interesting stuff. Blockchain is pretty complicated, and it's pretty easy to do if you just read through the documentation. Like, you can play with a lot of this stuff and just break it constantly. So this, I do want to dive back in a little bit about 0x is what it's about, because I'm a little bit more, I need a little bit more clarity. But if you guys wanted to join in on 0x, obviously you can check them out at 0x Protocol. And one more time, shout out to their team, chat.0xproject.com. They're on Rocket Chat. Looks like showing some love in there. And then there's actually this great beginner's guide to kind of like what's going on. I think this, I can't tell if this was one of their team members. Oh, she's an advisor. Okay, Linda Z. I'm going to pop that in here too for y'all. But it should be actually on the accompanying document that I had shared. This guy right here. I'll pop this one in, so you all can just kind of see what's going on. There's a bunch of resources and links here that you guys can play with it too, depending on what you're looking to do with it. That link, let's pop this one in Twitch. Everybody can hop in too. If you guys have any questions or you want me to play with it or do something, if we want to try and spin up Kovacs or whatever, like we can do that too. It's just up to you guys. Eric's a little bit more familiar with that. Covans. Maybe that's the next thing we should do. Go here and check out Covan. Okay. This is a configuration for this starter project. So let's go to the source. Let's find that. This is actually a situation where I'm going to have to use Visual Studio. See what we got here. Should be easier to comb through the code this way too. So when we did that snapshot, by the way, I think it pulled in a snap of the network. Not sure exactly what it did, but maybe that's what it did, or created some kind of like basic protocol so it could just start up, like the Genesis block and everything. Let's go to configs. So this is the line that's talking about if you want to change over the networks, right? And that's what we just copied. Actually, I didn't copy that. Copied the wrong thing. We got. I've never actually used Covance, so this should be interesting. It's probably pretty easy though. We're gonna have to rebuild, I believe, as well if we're doing it like this. So, and we're gonna have to get testnet coins. I can show you guys how to do that too. Ooh, okay. We're gonna need to go back to Commander, and I'm gonna have to rebuild this. So just go back here. Yarn build. What just happened? Did not save it. Wondering if I'm putting it in the wrong file. Or it's Ganache config network ID. Let's just see what we got going on here. Configs.ts, which is where I'm at. Change the last line. Okay. Need to hear your thoughts on this. We've also released a code sandbox web learning environment. Let's see that. 0x codes. So one of the project guys that's on this right now just shared some awesome sandbox editor that looks legit. What we got here? This is very interesting. So this is this kind of like similar, like we have a DApp starter kit that we set up, right? So for like Ethereum contracts, let me show you that. Well, we actually jacked it from somebody else, but then we forked it and started doing some work on it. I think you guys might have one too. Let me see. DApp starter kit. I think it's 0. DApp starter kit. There's like a lot of these. There's a lot of these different starter kits and boxes, like truffle boxes. Starter kit. Zero Static was the guy that we forked it from. This guy, shout out to him. But yeah, I think you guys might have something like that. I'm gonna have to check that out. Let me go back to your website. Actually, let's look at the code sandbox. Or, I'm sorry, the sandbox editor. What did you guys use on this to get it running? Tweet Max. Okay. Okay. Web3 wrapper or padding. Do I've never developed with TSX. I use JSX. I'm sure it's super similar. Okay. The 0x sandbox provides a runnable example of how to use and interact with 0x. Be sure to check out the 0x starter project for more examples and scenarios. Our portal provides a user onboarding flow. This is like really cool. I like it. Switch to Koban. See what we got. Is the music unbearable when I turn it on? Because it's like a little loud on my end. That's what I was curious about. Trying to jam out over here. We could do some hip hop. Oh, yeah. Gotcha. Is that why it's is that really the reason it's not loading up? Check that. Yeah, I'm on Koban. And then I gotta request some ETH on the Koban test network. Unless you got some. If you can toss it over there. Like Koban. If anybody's got Koban test network coins, I also gotta do a faucet. Probably gonna have to do a faucet anyways. Oh, is it? Faucet code in the bottom of the sandbox. Okay, I'll see. Sausage. There you go. Cool. That's awesome. Yeah, this is well thought out. This sandbox is so sick. This is pretty dope. This looks like it took a fair amount of effort. There is one critique though. If you don't run a faucet, you give away free money. All right. Let me go back to VS Code real quick. So I should be able to configure it over right now, right? Okay. Then rebuild it. There's a faucet at the bottom right. I have some. Right window, scroll down so you can ignore it. Sandbox. Okay. Let's do that. Actually, I'm gonna close all this out for right now. I don't think I need like a lot of that. Why does it keep switching over in the config? Am I editing it in the build? Oh, am I doing this wrong? Yeah. Idiot. I was just curious about why that worked. That's so dumb. I can't believe it was in the wrong file. I just want to make sure this is working local. Yeah. Okay. So now Ganache, or this is running. I'm gonna go to the sandbox. Okay. Oh yeah, pro tip for everybody else. You need to add tokens, that's the way you do it. I don't know how many people know that. Pretty simple. Unlock setting. I see. Okay. So I can wrap ETH too, right? So that should have just submitted it. scroll up the tokens list. Yeah, I'm here. There you go. There's my WE. So I just wrapped one, right? Didn't mean to hit that. So this is just like basically a front end web. Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay, I'm getting what's going on here. So I need to copy the order. Okay, where am I gonna find? Oh, it's gonna be in my MetaMask, isn't it? Assign the order, copy paste, fill it. Okay. So let's create one, right? 0x token. Yeah. I see the order hash down there. Signed order. Okay. Cool. And then here's the JSON. Okay. Okay. Now if I want to fill it, I have to toss the JSON object in there, right? It definitely doesn't suck, by the way. I wouldn't say it sucks. I'm just super unfamiliar with 0x. So now we're going to fill the order, confirm, submitted. I should have enough in the back end to fill that. Transaction mined. Let's see where we were at. We're right here. Let's see what happens. So just charge me gas. Okay, cool. Oh, if I would, yeah, I got you. I understand. Because it's the same value. The only thing that changed was the ETH, right? Right here, because that's what it cost. This sandbox is sweet. I'm popping this in our Discord. Hold on. Let me send this out. Poggers, P-O-G-G-E-R-S. Be chill, man. Take it easy, man. Okay. What else can we do here? Let's see.
As I understand it, this is a free country. Man can live wherever he wants. Free country? Man, I should fuck you for saying that stupid shit alone. Yo, man, your Jordans are fucked up. Yeah, man. Pretty faces surround me, they blow me kisses. Far away in Cartier, glowy lenses, they show an interest. Beautiful like the Pharrell in a Snoop theme. Pierced tongue, ears hung, jewels on the hoop rings. And all over it's the same story, different name. Cause you give me...
Dude, should update my Covan balances over here too. Yep, cool. Legit. I'm just checking out this sandbox, man. Like, so these are, you guys just basically compile this file. Is this an OS code? Like, or is this an open-ass project, a sandbox editor? I'm not even familiar with it, man. Oh my god. Oh, that's so fire. That's so awesome. Independent project. For code sandbox, huh? Pretty legit. What other projects are using 0x protocol? I'm actually kind of curious about that too. I'm curious why you guys are using Rocket Chat instead of Discord. Discord is the truth. Okay, so this is going to talk about wrapping ETH. Order, just wait. Yeah, man, Discord's where it's at. It's the future, more ways than one. I mean, where are you gonna get bots like this? Thought somebody break my bot. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty sick, man. I'm glad you shared that sandbox with me. That's awesome. I'm gonna have to definitely do some more research on 0x. But like I was talking about it yesterday. What did you want to see from education with the 0x team? I'd say it's more like I'm pretty sure you guys got it all there. It's just like for like a programming perspective, it's like why is it worth the energy to go? It's not like super confusing. I mean, it's pretty straightforward. I was able to spin up your docs pretty well. It's just like fluency with it, which is obviously something that comes with a little bit more time. The 0x project's interesting. It got adopted by Coinbase, but I mean, most of the stuff that I'm developing on is really just a matter of like time. Ethereum's pretty cool, but like I was involved with Bitcoin like way earlier, and I just like I see the need for smart contracts and stuff. It's just like I mostly for like my monetary purposes I do like Angular or like front end work. So it's just like I have to put time into learning, I guess, more solidity and whatnot, which is kind of a whole thing. But I mean, as far as the resources, like just like videos and stuff, man. Like it's important to have I guess like your primary demographics on YouTube or like Twitch, like what I'm doing right now, and that's really the most important thing. Usually what we do in difference to me just coming on here and trying to break stuff is we kind of play with it a couple different times on a live stream, get used to it, that way we can talk fluently about it, and then actually come up with a segment and develop on it. We do hackathons too, so most of our Discord is actually people from a hackathon that we threw, and like a lot of this stuff is confusing, and collaborative effort and kind of working together will train new developers. It was like amazing to me when we had a hackathon because there was like a lot of different developers that actually didn't know what blockchain was, which is interesting, and they were kind of basic, but it was still super interesting to see that perspective. They just like had heard about it recently and they're like really excited about it and they just kind of popped in. But that kind of like mentor thing at a hackathon, and we're throwing one in San Francisco actually, January 24th. We have about 60 registrants, so we're just kind of exploring different technologies that you might be able to work with and coming out with some curriculum and maybe some GitHub projects. If you guys wanted to work with me on that, that'd be pretty cool because we can put it out pretty well. But really, it's just a matter of time. It's hard to like hop in here and just know exactly what I'm doing. But I figured I could get the basic stuff spun up. Essentially, your starter project, which is like very simple commands. So it's like what I did, and we'll probably cut the video too. But pretty cool stuff. What do you do for 0x, by the way? Can't remember what you said. I do mostly marketing development, like bots and stuff. Focusing on the ecosystem, cool. Yeah, dude, the number one thing is like, I think, and this is like kind of the ethos of 4 o'clock is like, I want to see blockchain everywhere. But the problem is, it's not going to go anywhere with mass market. Most of these companies are like, oh, we need to convert an Ethereum dev to our project, which isn't like a realistic thing. You're probably going to get. Yeah, I know you can't hear who we're talking. I know that. I'm talking to somebody in chat on Twitch. The question was from Dex. DEKZZ. I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, but he was asking me which parts are confusing as an 0x developer, but also he said he was a dev focusing on the 0x ecosystem for everybody watching on the other stream channels. Sorry about that. I probably should have specified. Oh, show the MetaMask transaction? Okay. I'll show you guys that. I didn't see you were on Periscope, Kevin. Actually, we could probably just do an ether scan on my wallet. That's actually a good point. We should probably pull up the block so you guys can see what I did. Didn't even think about that. Okay, so this is essentially the corresponding data that was going on with what he was walking me through. This sandbox right here, I'll post a link in a lot of different places here so you guys can all see this, but and in Twitch one more time. Yeah, man, you should probably hop on. You can walk us through some of the cool stuff you can do it with at some point. If you want to do like a second stream or something and maybe show us like some real hype mode stuff you can do with 0x, because you're probably going to be a lot more fluent with it than I am. But yeah, so here's the transactions. Let me go back to that real quick. These are the requests, or like how I initiated the order. This is sending it out. Looks like it's a smart contract, and this is the output. So let's see. Yeah. So those are the transactions, Kevin. If anybody else has anything else they'd like to see me play with right now with 0x, just let me know. I'll take a shot at it. See if I can do it. Actually, let's check out the GitHub. Let's see what else you can do. See what else I got. Planning to launch this soon. What you got? Is this like convenient way for people to get access to a wide variety of tokens and other apps? Developers can integrate the free open source library into their applications or websites to offer seamless access to crypto assets, as well as a new revenue source for them with just a few lines of code. We'll walk through here. Oh, I already got it simulated. Sweet. This is pretty fire, man. Are you using Figma? Figma's that stuff. We just actually did that for a project. Dude, Figma is the truth. Eric loves Figma. Okay, so apparently 0x is going to be launching this soon. Super cool. That's pretty badass. That's just going to let you trade tokens. Pretty sweet. Yeah, Figma is lit, man. Like, it like helps you just not worry about stupid crap. What's up, Jacob? Thanks for joining the server there. Good to see you in. Yo, for everybody involved, dude, at 0x, if you guys want to just drop in updates or whatever into the general, in the Fork Block server, everybody in my server is like, you know, watching, learning about new projects and stuff. So it'd be pretty cool to if you guys give us an update when you launch that app or whatever. Also, definitely give us a follow. We'll probably do some more stuff on 0x. I'd love to maybe have somebody from your team on talk about it too. That'd be pretty cool. You guys can walk us through what you're doing. So reach out to me on Discord. I'm Red Rum Gorilla. Or you could hit up Eric. He's at Superposition. I'll pop those in. But okay, what should we do next? We're going deep on this. So just try and break stuff. All right. That's pretty fire. Okay. So here's your code for creating the orders, huh? Okay. Let's do this. Get rapid. I kind of want to look at your 0xJS library. Okay. I think I don't have yarn on here. Damn, I don't want. I'm gonna have to do a split with Commander. Got Source. Yes. I don't think I have the package manager. File packages. Can't remember that packages. Okay. I want to see how you guys implemented this in here. God, that's killing me. Edit selection. Where's the packages? Yeah, why is it all red then? I usually use Atom. I just started using VS Code. So right now I'm trying to figure out why it's red, guys. Every day it's locked, but it's red underlined. Goes line feed. I don't even know, dude. I'm not on. So OBS and like my setup doesn't work great with Linux, so I'm like running a like obviously a little jankier setup. I would boot into Ubuntu if I could get all the audio and stuff to work right, but right now I don't have an audio mixer or anything like that. just works a little bit better. So you're gonna have to help me out. What's the Windows line feed, Dex? Great. That's what I like to see. Okay, so anyways. In this scenario, maker creates and signs an order for selling 0x for WF. WETH. I don't even know how you said it. WETH. So it's got an async function, which is dope. Let's see what's going on. Get promise void. Print utils, print scenario, fill order with fees. Okay. Solid. It's okay. Yeah, it did. I didn't even think about taking out the TS limit. So, solid. Okay. I want to interact with your functions here, so let me pull up the, I'm going to pull up the, you guys just have a straight API? Like, yeah, you guys should, oh, here we go. There we go. There's actually this great, maybe you guys should do this too. So Tron, they had a solid, yeah. They did one thing super great. And I'll give you the link. I don't know if you guys have anything like this, but there is a, let me find it. I have a link for you guys. There's this, this is sick. If you guys have ever seen Slate for your API docs. There you go. See, because you can set up like something like this. Unless you guys got something like that already. Okay, now what was I doing? Okay. This looks a little more familiar here. Me and Eric are gonna have to do an API call video on this, I think, because you guys have a ton. We did it with Tron. We should probably do it with yours too. And that way we can learn it a little bit better. Yo, everybody, give that a follow on Twitch. We're trying to get up so we can get an affiliate, so it'll help out. And if you hit it, it'll do something cool, by the way. As I don't know if it does it on YouTube too. Might. I linked it up. Subscribe. Trying to grow the channel out, do more stuff. Get John me cooking up some more hacks and whatnot. I want to track down one of these. Let's go back to your. Let me go back to your code. Okay. I need to track this around a little bit. Want to exercise? Try and subscribe to all of the exchange logs on Koban. Oh boy, I don't know if I'm capable, but we can try. I'm gonna use yours as a framework. Actually, let me rename that. Subscribe to all the exchange logs. Okay. See how you guys did it. I'm trying to work through how you guys are doing it so that I might be able to execute. What was that? I'm gonna need the exact same things, I would assume. I'm not gonna read too much into it. Did you guys import all this stuff already? That's the question. I would assume you did. So let's just go with yours. Now I gotta think through it. Koban. All the exchange logs on Koban. Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Solidity. Yeah. I love calling somebody, get him in. What's up, man? Yo, Dax, you there? You're muted.
Yo.
What's up, man?
Hey, man, how you doing?
Good. Got me.
Yeah, thanks.
You got me up. Yeah, man. I'm Eric was supposed to be on board with me, so like help me walk through some stuff, but he had to bounce. So I was just probably not gonna go this deep, but I mean, as long as you're here, as long as you're on the call, it's sick. Thanks for walking.
Yeah, man, I'll probably be on for like another half an hour, then I'll probably go to bed. But yeah.
Where are you at?
Right now we're in Prague. We just went to DevCon, which was really good, really fun. A lot of projects there, a lot of interesting stuff happening.
Oh, cool, man. That's really cool. Yeah, we just kind of, me and Eric just kind of putz around with code, and like I was like talking to my brother about it, and he's like, man, you should just go play with 0x. Like a lot of people have been talking about it lately, so I just figured I'd hop on here. I usually do like mostly front end web work, not really so much in the back end here, but built like some dApps with dApp starter kits and whatnot. Programmed a couple things, but not too crazy. So yeah, so you're saying try and just pull the orders in from the Covan test network, correct? And so
yeah, let's give it a shot.
I basically am just gonna copy exactly what you guys did with your subscribe, right? Because those are the imports that I would need, I would assume. Right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now that we have those imported, now I wouldn't even know where to start to look for Covan's pulling it in. So what's the first thing that I gotta do here?
All right, so we have these things called like contract wrappers, which basically abstract and present a nice interface to actually interacting with the actual contracts.
Okay.
Because as you probably know, it can be pretty brutal.
Okay.
When making a lot of this stuff. So you can see in the first couple of lines you've imported. Sorry, my stream's a little bit delayed, so it might be a little bit janky, but you've imported this package under 0xJS called contract wrappers. That's kind of where we house all of these contract wrappers, like the ERC721 token contract wrapper, which you pulled in there. There's also an exchange token contract wrapper. Sorry, just an exchange wrapper. A couple more that kind of make it a little bit easier. So I guess to look into creating like a contract wrappers object, an instance of that object. So hopefully you can kind of find that in the documentation as well.
So contract wrappers is the first place you want me to go. You want me to check the 0xJS? Is that what you're telling me here?
Yeah. So under the documentation, you should be able to find some docs on the contract wrappers package itself. It's also kind of in all of those scenarios as well. So that's probably like a bit of a shortcut to how you construct one of these.
Yeah, so that's what I was looking at. So I'm trying to find contract. Here's the docs. Contract wrappers. Okay, import. So we imported it. So hold on, where's the info about it though in here? Why isn't it moving? Contract wrappers. Okay.
I'm just going to refresh my stream. It's a little bit delayed. Let's see how this goes.
I'm curious why this isn't moving. Maybe I have to refresh this page.
Oh, yeah, that's not cool. It's not moving.
No, it's
Can you scroll in that middle section?
Sure, give me 1 second. I got like 17 windows running. I got like, because I'm like trying to check all the chats and stuff. You're the only one chatting up. Usually there's other people on, but today was a little quieter.
How long have you been checking out the Ethereum space for? I guess the blockchain space in general, since you talked about Tron earlier.
Yeah. So I used to mine like back in 2013, and like that was like essentially to the extent that I'd played with some Bitcoin code a little bit, but nothing like insane. My background was like I learned like C++ in like engineering school in college, so like took a couple courses there, and then obviously like web work, making money, doing like just contract to contract and kind of picking stuff up where I could. As far as like Solidity and all that, like when I first heard about Ethereum, it was like a joke. Like everybody's like, oh, Ethereum. And I was like, oh man, Bitcoin's God. Like Ethereum's nothing. Like I don't believe in it. And sure enough, smart contracts were all the hype. You know, I thought it was a cool concept, but it just blew up. Then the token game over the last year was kind of interesting. So everybody's like, you got to develop Ethereum, and I fought it for a long time, and now, now here I am. But long story short is, yeah, man, it's I've just been playing with Solidity more recently. I usually do like marketing work and like bot building and stuff for like outreach. I used to do like growth hacking contracts and whatnot. Just kind of getting people in the Discord and like or the Telegram thing. But okay, I got the contract wrapper right here. Contract wrapper provider config. Contract wrapper config. Okay. So the provider we want to declare is. You're saying, okay, so you got to walk me through this like a fourth grader real quick. So
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it.
all right.
So the provider is kind of how you can interact with PC backend node, so like Geth or Parity or the Ganache.
Okay, cool.
And sometimes it's kind of merged in with the way you sign data. So sometimes it kind of gets a little bit ambiguous, like with how MetaMask is somehow injected in there, as well as it talks to an underlying Geth node or a Parity node. We use this thing called Web3 Provider Engine, which allows us to build up a middleware stack, so we can kind of like drop in different things. So we can point it to Geth, but also sign via Ledger. So it allows us to kind of build up this middleware layer. So you can kind of drop out Ledger, put in MetaMask,
Okay.
kind of get that drag and drop behavior programmatically.
Mhm.
So we basically, in a lot of our packages, request you provide the provider, just so we don't kind of make any assumptions on your behalf.
Okay.
In that sample project, we have a provider file, I believe. Let me try and bring it up.
I got it. I know where I'm looking for it. It's
so that's just kind of constructing out for you, pointing to the right network. So I think you've imported there. It's called Provider Engine. So that's the kind of provider we need. Yeah.
Okay, so let's just find Provider Engine, right? Where's that? Okay, there it is. Cool. Network configs at provider. So if I change the configs in the config.ts file, it should just automatically update to.
Yeah, it should be pretty mapped.
Yeah, that's
quite cohesive.
And when I rebuild it, it'll take care of all that. So going back to what did I call that? Subscribe.ts. Okay. So now I'm pulling in the right provider. Okay.
Yeah, that looks good.
And then next step is.
Yeah, we're going to create a contract wrappers instance.
Okay. So new, right? Wait.
Yeah.
Should I just delete this ERC721 token wrapper?
Just comment it out. We can kind of like. There's a lot of TypeScripty stuff in there as well. Are you familiar with a bit of TypeScript or mostly JavaScript and?
I mean, I get it to a certain degree. I'm not super fluent. Like, I'm not to the same level that I probably should be at, but I'm more of a JavaScript guy. Hold on, let me pull up. See what you got here.
We use it just because it can help with a bit of safety, kind of reduce some bugs.
Yeah, we were learning about math yesterday, safe mathing, in John May's cryptography's like in school, but he was talking about safe math, and like I guess I never realized how important using certain things were, but he kind of like highlighted that like you could really screw some things up if you don't do things right. So
it's not good when you're dealing with people's funds.
Yeah,
you don't really want to screw that up.
Yeah, for sure. I'm not a contract builder yet, so maybe one day, but not now. Okay, so this is the framework. So the provider is that listed as the provider in there? Wait, where is it?
So we've called it Provider Engine, so you're gonna have to kind of just replace that.
Yeah, I got it. Okay, cool.
Yeah, the documentation is just kind of telling you what the type is. So we no longer really need that provider type. It's just part of the documentation, or when you define what the function kind of looks like.
Sure. Provider engine, yeah, lowercase, camel case. Provider engine. Okay, cool. Awesome. Then the comma.
So drop that provider call in front, because we can just pass it in as without a name.
Just drop the provider call and call provider engine. Got it.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool. And then the config, contract wrapper.config is not.
Yeah, we'll probably have to maybe bring up the docs on exactly what that looks like. So if you can hop into the 0xJS thing again and just kind of hover over the contract wrappers config. If you just kind of hover over it, hopefully it should render something for you.
Okay, cool.
So it takes a couple of options, like how often we should poll the blockchain for more blocks. If you need to customize the contract addresses, let's say you're in Ganache and you kind of have these different addresses because you deployed it a bit differently, as well as like the gas price.
Got it.
Of a default setting, and the network ID as well.
Okay.
Which kind of points to like Kovan or Ganache or mainnet. So we probably only need this one.
Yeah.
We'll point that to Kovan.
The network. I'm sorry. Which one? Contract. Wait. Which one would I be pulling in here? So, block polling interval is just gonna. Does it have a default value?
Yeah. So
Okay.
they all should have default values apart from network ID.
Okay, so network ID is the one that we need to pull in. So we just have to declare that in our code.
As like a hash object of just network ID.
Okay, so I see. Okay, I'm picking up what you're putting down right now. I got you. Do this. Network ID. And then it's a hash, you said, right?
Yeah, like a JavaScript object. You just need to, so that the
You I just
is
need to call it in.
So wrap that in the squiggly brackets, you know what I'm saying, the curly brace. An options object, and then small lowercase network ID. And then we've got that defined in the configs file, I believe. So the actual value, which is technically 42, but we can just reuse what's in the configs.
Okay, I'm sorry. I misheard that. It broke up a little bit. So you're saying network ID, I'm calling it in like this. You said call it object, or what do you need me to do?
Yeah. So change that to camel case. So we'll create an object that has a attribute called network ID.
Okay.
And the value will be, it's under network configs.
Okay. Network.
If you do colon here, make that an attribute on this object. And then if you call into the capital network configs, yeah, there we go. And then if you do dot, I think we have network. Yeah, there we go.
That's the one. Okay, cool.
Just reuse the one that we've set up globally.
Okay.
So if we want to swap between Ganache or mainnet, it kind of just works like a bit like magic.
It's good like that, right? It's gonna call it the value. I don't need to put like an index or anything. It's just good, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, that's all good.
All right. Awesome. And then
now we should have a contract wrappers object instantiated, which is cool. So you no longer need the type definition at the end there. So just drop off that colon.
Not needed. Good.
Yeah, not needed.
Okay. So now we have this object. It's going to return that. Okay, got it. Cool.
It's going to be an instantiated contract wrappers object.
Oh, yeah.
Which is cool.
Okay, cool. Now I need to actually call it. So this is a new object, and now we have to tell what we need to do with it, correct?
Exactly.
All right. Cool. So, all right, colon. All right, let me just double check what you guys did up here. Let me just need a reference. Need a reference. Okay, so I have to do basically this async call, right? Like everything like that. Very similar. Throw an error.
Just check. I don't think we're necessarily using a wait here, so it's probably a bit overkill, but yeah, we should be able to get pretty far without it.
Okay. No needed. Okay. Continuing on.
We'll find out.
All right.
Now you've got this contract wrappers that's been instantiated, so we
Okay.
can assign that to a variable contract wrapper, so we can start to reuse it a bit.
Okay.
Maybe just assign that to a constant.
Let's call it CW. Then set it equal to it.
Yeah, exactly. Just copy that line 15.
Just copy it.
So copy the line 15 and paste it after the equal sign. So we'll assign that instantiation to CW.
I don't have to put new though because it's already instantiated, right?
Yeah. Put the new there as well, and we'll just delete line 15 after that.
Okay, cool.
The new contract wrappers to the CW constant.
Okay.
And now we can start to play around. So if you hop down to line 18 and then just do CW dot, let's see if VS Code's magic has kind of pulled out on it. Too healthy, does it?
No. Maybe it's because am I supposed to not use capitals?
It should be fine. It's just not liking what we're putting down.
Yeah, dude. Well, I mean, it's whatever. Okay. So now CW, and then I'd call dot.
So on this CW instance now, we have a couple of different wrappers to kind of help out the developer. So one of them is exchange. I'm going to do CW.exchange. This is going to be a contract wrapper.
Exchange.
That is fully. I think your editor is not necessarily picking it up, so it's not as trustworthy as we'd hope.
Exchange events or exchange.
They're just all lowercase exchange. I think the editor is kind of just getting a little confused right now.
Yeah, I'm a little confused too. We're going way deeper than I thought, but go ahead and continue. All right, so exchange, got it.
Cool.
Now what?
Yeah, so this is going to be a contract wrapper instance, and if you go back to the 0x docs, the available methods on it.
Oh, okay, cool. So now we get a call.
Scroll down in the left. Yeah, so what have we got down here? Keep scrolling until you look, until something kind of jumps out that looks like an exchange. Oh, there it is. Yeah. Scroll up a little bit.
There it is.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
So it's going to create us an exchange wrapper. So if you click that, it should take us to someplace helpful. Something that's a bug. You just if you scroll down the left window again, information.
1 second. All right. Okay, so just scroll down the left window again, you're saying? Okay, so the method is exchange, great. Okay, now we just
keep going. So that's ERC20 token wrapper, so that's another wrapper, ERC721 token wrapper.
Okay.
Proxy wrapper, keep going, token wrapper, keep going. So as you can see, there's a couple of different wrappers to help out the user.
Okay.
The Ether token wrapper, which is that WETH that we talked about a bit earlier.
Yeah.
And now we have exchange, if you keep going down a little bit further. And then there's all these methods, which is basically what a developer would be calling when they want to perform some actions using the 0x exchange contract. And we're kind of interested in now.
Okay, subscribe is the one that we're looking for, correct?
Yeah, I'd suggest maybe not just copy pasting that because it's got all the type information that we don't necessarily calling it. So we want to call dot subscribe, and we want to give it an event name to subscribe to. Index filter values, we can kind of ignore that for now. Every time we actually get a log, it'll call our callback.
Okay.
And these logs are things like fill order or cancel order or any kind of activity that happened on the exchange contract itself.
Okay.
This is a pretty good start, I think.
So subscribe, hold up.
Let's do subscribe, and we'll we'll subscribe to something pretty simple.
Do I have to put extends just like they did in that example?
No, you don't. Not in this.
Okay.
So you just have to open up the parentheses here,
Okay.
and we'll give it some arguments.
Okay, cool.
I believe the first argument was the event we want to listen to. So if you hop back to the docs,
Event name, exchange events.
events, yeah, it's not really rendering here too well, but the one you want is fill as a string.
Okay, so hold up 1 second. Let me pull this up. So you want me to call event name and then fill?
So I guess the documentation is a little bit confusing here. Passing in positional arguments, but it's actually like rendering the TypeScript's definition of it.
Sure.
So when they're positional like this, you just need to pass the values, not the actual like key value.
Okay.
So this argument would be just the string of fill,
Okay.
all uppercase.
Fill, like that. Correct?
I can't. Yeah, is that in strings? I can't necessarily see Can't really see the.
You're saying declare.
Yeah, so wrap that in.
Right there.
It should be, yeah, so it should be a string, so just wrap that in double quotes.
Okay.
Boom, that's looking pretty good. So now we'll move on to the next.
Okay, so comma,
which,
right? Separate it, comma, correct?
Comma separated, exactly.
All right. And then declare another one.
This is going to be the filter values, which we can just skip. So let's give it just an empty JavaScript object, which is just the two curly braces, one after the other.
Okay.
And close, boom, yeah. So we can get back to the. Now we want to give it a callback. So every time we're syncing with the blockchain, we're going to basically call this callback with the data.
Okay.
So that looks like a function.
Callback.
This function it has, yeah. So it's going to be as just a function with some arguments. So if you do open parentheses and then just args.
Okay.
Let me just check these args. So the first arg is error. So if you just replace args with error.
Yeah. Oh, sorry.
So if there's any errors, we can.
Error.
Yeah.
Comma.
And then. Yeah, exactly. And then the next argument will be the actual data.
Yeah, so just call it data, right?
That's cool. And then we'll make this a fat arrow function. So after this, just do equals, and then the right caret looking thing. Outside the.
Oh, so you want me to pass those in? Oh, is this like a code loop? Like right here, this is just like parentheses and then a block. It's like a block. It's just not a function. It's more just code block. It's just going to run regardless.
Yeah, exactly. So this is just going to be like a generic JavaScript function, and it's going to be called by us periodically once we got some data. Have to use the fat arrow syntax. So between that curly brace, just put an equals and then a right angled bracket.
Okay, arrow, like rocket hash type arrow? Is that what you're saying?
So, but just after the close parentheses and before the curly brace.
So just after.
On the
okay, I got
20.
you. Gotcha. Cool. Got it.
And we've just got a generic function using the hash rocket syntax, and this is going to be error or some data. Hopefully it's data. Hopefully it's no errors. So let's just console.log the data.
Console. Oh, okay, got it. You just want to call it and print it out. Okay.
That's pretty easy, I think.
Do I have to put the data in single parentheses, or no? It just comes out as like that, right? Yeah, you should be good.
It's fine, yeah.
Okay, cool. And then this basically should perform what we want it to. This isn't incorrect here, right?
That empty.
Yeah.
It's fine. So with this index filter params, you can basically try and be a little bit more specific. So you can only like if you specify some values here, you can say, hey, I only want to get logs that relate to this particular address, get logs for a particular maker or a particular taker. Then you can basically specify it inside there.
Okay.
Since we don't really care, we can just leave it quite open, which is just the empty hash.
Sure. Just give it like a null, like a not even a null, just empty, no response. Okay.
Yeah,
Cool.
exactly.
All right. Awesome. And then this is good. No, don't have to put anything there. It's closed. That closes. Do you have to probably semicolon it at the end of that? Does this function?
Oh, let's try and compile it and see what it complains about.
Yeah, right there. I would assume no colon. Correct. Because it's a function.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. Awesome. Okay. So. What is this? This shouldn't be an issue at all. Okay, cool. And then going back to my commander terminal, I actually don't have to run anything on the other end because it's just going to hit the other network up, except for build, right? You just have to rebuild it, and then it should be good.
We have to rebuild it, and then we'll be watching Kovan, so we don't have to run Ganache.
Okay, hold on. Closing out that. My VNC builder up. Okay. Error. Good. Shane. 17. Object back. Unexpected string at position 251.7. That probably doesn't mean anything. Uses build compiled 2005. Error log yarn. Let me just check.
Thinking your package.json, you may be missing a comma.
Yep. 100% right. Again. Cool. All right. So this is. Okay, here.
TypeScript has gone and told us a little bit of, a couple of issues here. We kind of have some settings to not really allow explicit about the types you're defining.
Sure.
Which can be a bit cumbersome. Let's go through the first one.
Parameter Eric implicitly has any type. Fill, not assigned. Not assignable to parameter or exchange events.
Yep. So if you go back into the TypeScript file again,
Okay.
we can make this a bit cleaner. So in 0x, we also export like a lot of parameters to use in these things. So if you scroll up to the top, see that exchange events on line 5?
Yeah.
Let's use that. So scroll down a little bit to
change that
to where it says fill.
Okay.
Line, and then do exchange events dot fill.
In a string, correct?
Outside the string. So now we've got this type or enum defined.
Okay.
And got fill. And looks like your editor's picking up some of this stuff. That's
okay.
cool. So now let's also just go to error.
Okay.
Let's just explicitly define this as any. So just do error : the TypeScript compiler that, we understand that this can be something, but we're just going to try and ignore it for now.
Mm-hmm.
So you're just looking to type any here. So we'll just say this has any type. It could be anything.
Got it. Cool.
As well. So this can be any type. It can be absolutely anything.
You said data.
But we try and be more
try
and be more explicit about what these are, and we have basically the definitions.
Okay, so error : any, data : any, correct?
Correct.
All right, cool. And so let's just see what other. It also said that this was non-valid. The open parentheses, it says. Oh no, it didn't. Never mind. Oh, you're good. Okay, cool. Phil, good. Okay, cool. So that should be good. And then we just rebuild and try one more time. After I save
Do it.
Make sure I save it. Yeah, man, thanks for hopping on. I was super curious about this, so like, glad to have somebody here to like kind of walk me through it to a degree.
And I appreciate you running this stream, digging into 0x and you know, doing basically some free user testing for us.
Yeah, man, absolutely. I mean, it's like resources online are so like invaluable because like people don't know how to do it. I'm just all about blockchain in any of its forms. So like the only way that it's ever going to succeed is if people are developing on it and playing with it. So it's like every time you search for something, there's nobody actually just going in and like hacking it and breaking it, and, like trying to figure out like what's going on. So I just figured the best way to do it is throw random people on it, stream with me, and just figure out what's going on.
I'm also pretty psyched that it's working on Windows.
Yeah.
Sometimes it can be a bit finicky when we run on Windows, so it's good to see it seems to kind of work.
Yeah. Yeah, I usually do the subshell, but that sucks too sometimes. So I've been having a lot of issues with the subshell lately. Okay, so did I get caught on
It's been
something?
taking a little while.
Yeah, it's just taking a minute. I'm curious if I got caught on something.
Oh, sorry, you ran from Scribe. I thought you were building again. So
I did.
kind of to be expected.
Oh, it's gonna take a while.
Well, it's going to be sitting there waiting for events to happen on the blockchain. So unless any happen,
Yeah, it's just listening, right? I didn't know if it got hung up or if it was like. So if I actually just do a request on that, like do an ether request, like it should just read it, right?
if you go back into Code Sandbox and like trade with yourself again,
Yeah.
the spends won't work. But if you go back to create and create a new order, I know getting this order this signature request, sorry, in MetaMask, and we're kind of suggesting here's all the data that you're about to sign.
Mm-hmm.
So it's got like all the token particulars, all the values.
Sure.
Mask has some display issues.
Copy that.
Hopefully you can copy this and then drop it into the fill order window.
Oh. Should have already been signed, so I didn't actually need to do that twice. There you go.
Yeah, exactly. So now you'll submit the transaction to the blockchain, and hopefully we'll actually see
As soon as it says hashed, it should be good, right? Your transaction.
Yeah, once it's mined.
Yeah. So now we can go back to Commander.
See how it goes.
Come on. One second here. Let me just check. All right.
Take his time.
Let's just make sure that I'm not breaking anything here on my end. Let me just see. Check the build. Yeah, okay, so it is Coven. I just wanted to make sure I'm. Alright, Coven.
That looks correct to me. Did you So you were in Code Sandbox and you were on the
Let me double check.
you were on Code when you made that trade.
Should be.
Scroll up to the top
Cool.
a little bit. Yeah, that looks fine to me. Comes the fun part, debugging what we did wrong.
Yeah. Hold on. So should we subscribe? Basically coming through here. Hold on. Let me look at the. Oh yes, an error. Subscribe to yes. Data any. Oh. Okay.
Maybe what could happen is we're receiving errors. So maybe let's console the log errors as well.
Can I put comma there? No. Do another one. Okay.
Gonna dig into our documentation myself, make sure we're calling the right thing here.
See what's going on. Let me just do a create. Create. Sign. And copy the signed order. Copy. Fill. Fill order. Confirm.
This is a little strange to me as well.
I could be completely botching it somewhere. Let's just double check. Pull this open. Configs, that's yes. Okay, if I bundled it and I'm on callvan.configs, that should be fine. I shouldn't need to spin anything else up, right? I should just tap it into the network. It's not like a localized Ganache thing, so it's not a big deal. It's
Correct, yeah.
Okay, cool. So then moving on to the next thing, this is the subscribe function. So these imports aren't highlighted like they are over here. So why is that? These asset data utils and all that, like on here. Oh, do I have to export as well?
So we're just not, if you go back into subscribe.
Yeah. These aren't lit up.
So, yeah, they just mean they're not being used.
Sure.
So you've imported them, but they're not being used here, which is fine.
Okay. We can delete this too, probably. Do that. Probably wouldn't do anything, but. Okay. Created a constant, named it CW, new contract wrappers, provider engine, which is referenced up. See, but this is being used, so why isn't it? Network configs is being used, right? So provider engine is also being used. Do I have to add a method on that provider engine for some reason?
That should be correct. Maybe the editor is just a little bit confused about what's going on.
Okay.
One sec, I just need to plug my my laptop in.
That's okay.
All right, I'm back.
Network ID. Contractwrapper.com. Okay, cool.
All these values look correct to me. So maybe there's an issue with the exchange subscribe function for a live demo, is it?
What? I'm sorry, I didn't hear you. I was trying to read through it, make sure I didn't miss anything. What's
So
going
what
on?
I'm saying is this looks correct to me, but maybe there is actually a bug in the subscribe exchange.
I probably broke something. I break things all the time. This is what I do for fun. so network ID colon. Okay, cool. And then you're just basically referencing the network configs dot network ID. So that should be stored in as that value provider. Okay, cool. And that should pass it into contract wrappers. It should know where that is. Okay. Exchange events. Capital exchange, capital events. That's the wrong way to. No, it's good. No. Okay. You're saying this looks good. I probably.
Yeah,
I feel like I broke it somewhere. I'm always skeptical, especially when I'm coding, because I'm not familiar with this at all. I'm super glad you're here and you're from 0x. For everybody that's listening, by the way, I'm sorry. What was your name again? I didn't ask. I apologize.
Yeah, so it's Jacob.
Oh, Jacob. Yeah, Jacob is from the 0x project, guys, and he's kind of walking me through what's going on here. He challenged me to do something a little bit extra than the actual starter project, which we just started off with and spun up. And that's like really as far as I had gotten yesterday. But it's cool to kind of try and take a challenge in here. But what was that? So you started using Figma too, huh? It's pretty sick. I'm a big fan of it.
We use it a lot internally.
Yeah.
It's heavily used by our designers. It's good to just kind of play around, get some mock-ups going on. Yeah. So check this out.
Okay.
Go back to your code.
Okay.
After the function we declared here.
Okay.
Any. So after that parameter,
Mm-hmm.
if you set the last parameter, so keep going down to the line 25 and then throw a comma in there, we'll add another parameter to this subscribe.
Oh, comma here? You're saying after the curly?
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, cool. And then subscribe?
So this is saying this is a.
Oh, I see it. Subscribe.
Let's set that. Sorry, you set that to true. So let's set is verbose to true.
Okay.
Subscribe, but type true here.
Type space true.
Yeah, but just get rid of subscribe.
Oh, just write true and then
Yeah.
is verbose.
Yeah, just true. So we're going to give the true value to the verbose parameter.
Okay.
That looks good to me. So let's rerun it.
Okay, that's it. Nothing, no colon, no anything. I'm good, right? Just true.
You're good. You're good.
Okay, cool.
I think you'll see that something's not right. You got yourself a GitHub account?
Yeah, I gotta get up. Yeah. So let's go back.
Did that rebuild?
Yeah.
So locally for me, right?
Do you want me to commit
So
this?
no, let's try this. Let's try this. Go back to your fig where we change it to Kovan.
Yeah. Okay. And you want me to change it to something else?
Let's go to Ganache for a second, and I'll kind of show you a little bit about. Oh, there you go. There you go. There you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So from Kovan parity node, you'll find with a lot of different test nets is sometimes they behave a little bit differently.
Okay.
We've turned verbose mode on, and we're kind of getting this error coming from Kovan.
Okay.
Which is not cool. Not cool.
Yeah. Okay. So it's spitting out the JSON package telling us that they're theirs.
Yeah, so we're basically querying Kovan saying, hey, yo, give me these logs.
Mm-hmm.
And it's spitting out saying, I don't understand what block hash is. So this is because Kovan is running on an older version of parity node.
Sure.
Which is not cool. So let's do this example with Ganache, which is kind of up to date in terms of the RPC spec.
Okay. So let's kill this. Yes.
Kill that.
And we'll kill this. And then we'll go yarn. Oh wait, we gotta change the configs. So active configurations. Fix. I like the way you guys have this set up. Pretty awesome.
So you want to change that to Ganache config, sorry.
Oh, oops, yeah. Gotcha. Alright, legit. Save. Cool. Go.
So you're going to need to start up that Ganache CLI again.
Yeah, okay. Right here. And then, hold on. Okay. Okay. Okay, cool.
Cool. So let's grab a new terminal.
You want me to grab, so like even another one, because we have to perform it and monitor, correct? So.
Perfect. Yeah.
Okay, so we have to go. Getting sloppy over here. Okay, so let's do. And then we'll do yarn we'll do yarn subscribe, right? Or I'm sorry, yarn scenario.
Yeah.
And then subscribe. Cool. And then that one's running. And then we'll do yarn the other one. We'll do fill order ERC20, right? And it should
Exactly, yeah.
monitor it.
Yeah, fingers crossed it should yeah, exactly.
Let's see what happens.
Oh, yeah, cool. Yeah, I understand it. So do not have the default addresses for Ganache deployed often. So if you go into your so everything worked, but like the contract wrappers we constructed earlier are a bit messed up.
Okay, so subscribe.ts. And
so if you just hop into that fill order ERC20 file for a second.
Wait, which one? I'm sorry.
Fill order ERC20.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
And then you can scroll down a little bit, see that's line 27, how we're constructing the contract wrappers.
Yeah.
On. So we need, when it's Ganache, we basically need to where all the addresses are because they're not deployed to a constant
Oh, okay.
Kovan.
Delete this.
So yeah, just grab the whole line 27 out of this file, and we'll copy it over into the subscribe.ts file.
Very cool. All right.
This will do like a little bit of magic to make sure everything works fine with Ganache locally. So if you call call line 15 CW. We don't need the one on 17 anymore.
Okay, CW, cool. Delete this one, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, cool.
And we may need to import that get contract wrappers config function. So if you hop back into the fill order ERC20, it's probably under the import section.
Okay. ERC20, cool. Import contract wrap. This one?
So line 14, yeah, so let's grab that one. We'll add that to our imports here.
Okay, cool. And then we got that in there, and then we have to basically declare the actual addresses from Ganache, which, how do we do that?
That's being handled for you by the get contract wrappers config.
Okay, cool. All right, so you're doing it via function, so we should be able to build and this should run. Cool. Okay.
You just have to run that subscribe again. It seemed to take a little bit of time, so maybe let's give it a,
a
second as well.
I have to rebuild it. All right, so we have to go through the whole rigmarole. Kill this. So Ganache CLI. And this is acting essentially just like the testnet would. So we should be good.
Exactly, yeah.
And I actually only have to run one command because we imported it, right? We can just run subscribe because it's going to handle everything. Or no, we can't because we have to call the order in. Got it.
We need to perform the action.
Yarn build yarn scenario. And then subscribe. Now we'll subscribe us to monitor the trades, and then ERC fill order should spit it out right. Done. Okay, let's move forward. Fingers crossed. Let's go. I'm sorry if people can't see that too. My head's in the way. Fat head. There you go. Perfect.
It's looking a lot better.
Yeah, man, that looks great. Awesome.
You've just subscribed to the log that happens out of the exchange contract.
Sure.
You can kind of see like all the details about what happened. So there's a fill, there was a maker, there was a taker, there was a sender, there was some money in there. Size complete.
Mm-hmm. And then you do. It's just going to basically update us with any actions that we have for a fill, correct? It won't do everything. It'll just do fills, correct? So
correct. So we only subscribe to fill, but there's also other events we could subscribe to, like cancels and.
Yeah. So if I run scenarios all, it's going to run. Basically, it's going to get hung up on the last one, but it should at least log some stuff in the right terminal. So running all you guys.
Yeah, you should see some stuff being spewed out.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome, man. I mean, I can definitely see some use cases. I guess it's like kind of foreign to me because I'm not really, like, I hadn't really been looking into it. I usually wait a little bit to see what's going on, but like I saw your docs today and I was like, man, I'll just hop on this because I had some free time. So I was pretty excited to kind of delve into it. I heard a lot of talk about it. I mean, you guys getting listed on Coinbase was huge. I mean, that's pretty awesome. So, I got pretty excited. Now I had a question for you guys. Are you like I think is it Patrick Byrne? Is that the guy that was is that Overstock something to do with it? No? Patrick Byrne, 0x, am I wrong? Oh no, it's T0. Okay, yeah. My bad. Wrong one. Anyways, yeah, this is pretty great. So you guys, URC Dex, there's a guy that lives locally near me. His name is Luke Autry. He used to work at Citrix, and we linked up. But they built, I think they're using you guys for some reason or another. I saw you guys on the actual, hold up. I saw them in your portal. Right, Chia. How many different exchanges, are these all the ones that are using you guys right now?
We recently updated from V1 protocol to V2. So currently we're listing the relays that are building on top of V2. So there's also a couple of that are still lagging a bit behind on V1.
Okay.
But the ones you kind of see here are the ones that I have migrated to V2.
Cool. And that's like V1, just kind of a difference in what you could do. Is it like very significant, like the different features that you guys built into V2 as opposed to V1?
Some of the, I guess, most important parts are we can add new token standards over time. So if you've heard of ERC 721, the non-fungible token.
Sure.
We have added basically support for that, and the re-architecture allows us to add more and more token standards over time.
Very cool.
So that was a pretty big key feature. A lot of usability and UX improvements. And yeah, some more efficient ways to cancel orders for market makers.
Sure. And where, like, so how long, when did 0x get, I don't know a ton of background on you guys. Like, when did you guys start working on your, I guess, like, your project? When was, like, the first time that you guys were like, hey, look, we're doing this, and when did you announce it and everything like that?
It's almost been 2 years since, I guess, the initial concept of 0x protocol.
Okay.
We've definitely come a long way and had a lot of people join us on this journey.
Cool.
Kind of got about 20 projects building on top of 0x right now, which is super exciting to see. A lot of interest in DevCon, a lot of projects kind of looking to use 0x in many different ways we couldn't even imagine. Pretty exciting about that.
Yeah, it's super awesome. I'm definitely gonna be learning a little bit more about it. I mean, when I looked up your guys' docs, like one of the main things like is having like usable docs. I mean, obviously, like API docs and information documents like can always be better, but like realistically, this is pretty robust, and that's like a very good sign of confidence that like the project actually cares about what it's doing. So it's cool to have that starter kit for somebody like me to hop on and kind of play with it. And then like obviously you hopping on and talking to me a little bit about like how to monitor was also super helpful. So I'm definitely gonna have to play with it and see kind of what else I can do with it. But it's pretty cool. I'm pretty excited about it.
Awesome, man. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, man. Thanks for hopping on. I appreciate it.
I think I'm gonna get some sleep, so enjoy the rest of your day.
Yeah, man. I'll watch the DevCon live stream. Is it over now, by the way?
Yeah, it's over now. I think the video should be coming up in a couple of days, I believe.
Cool. I'm gonna have to check it out. All right, man. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
Definitely check out some videos on snarks and starks if that floats your boat.
Yeah, ZK Snarks is pretty awesome. So I'm all about that. I appreciate it.
Be a longer video next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, man.
All right, see you later, mate.
See ya. All right, everybody. That was 0x, and we did quite a few projects there. It took a little bit longer than I thought, but everybody check out their docs. They're pretty great. I included them in the links. So there's a Google Doc there that you can jump on and check it out. And that is, see, quite a few people still in here. I didn't see anybody chatting on YouTube. But don't forget to follow us. Hit the notification button. Give us a follow. Appreciate it. We'll be hacking on stuff like this in the long term. So thanks, guys. Peace out.